Sunrises were always important to my husband, Alan, and I. As self-named cultural explorers, a must on any new Caribbean island was to get up in the dark, navigate unknown, unmarked roads to the east side of the island, and watch the sun rise from the sea, crafting the horizon line for a new day. On the morning of Alan's passing, the low clouds that rippled across the Coachella Valley were bathed in the brilliance of vibrating shades of deep crimson on the backdrop of luminous purple. I took it as a sign of his colorful persona and endless spirit. Grief studies say that for every one death, 9 to 12 people grieve. And when I think of the millions of people that die in the US each year and the tens of millions of people left grieving, I know I'm not alone. This talk is an invitation to look at grief from a new perspective. This first year and a half past the death of Alan has been an exploration into the complexities of grief. From the depths of despair with wails from the deepest wells of my soul to the peaks of gratitude and celebration for the amazing life we did have together. I've come to understand and know that grief isn't a process or a series of stages. Grief is a companion that will always be with me. And actually, the neuroscience of grief has now shown that our brains are actually physically shaped by our loved ones. And while grieving changes over time, grief and loss will never go away. So I choose to embrace my grief companion every day as I craft the rest of my life and live my more. My concept of more is an acronym with 4 key elements: meaning, owning, relationships, and emotions. It's through focusing on and fostering these 4 elements that we keep growing, evolving, and healing in our lives. My more sits on the horizon line of my tomorrow. And while the 4 elements fall in the order of the acronym, they don't follow a linear process. They move in, through, and around each other. And it's this movement around and with my grief companion and my more that I wish to share with you. The first element that came into play really with Alan's death was emotions, the E in more. I found myself responding to that ever-asked question of, how are you? With, I'm okay, which translated meant I was allowing myself to be one with my grief. There was no time as I moved room to room, item to item. There'd be silent tears, cleansing wails, little smiles of memories, and at times blissful laughter at the remembrance of one of our crazy adventures. I so wanted to feel his touch and to hold him again. It wasn't loneliness. It was a void, a deep, empty, vast chasm. But then the sun would rise, and the sky would fill with his colorful energy, and I would feel encompassed by all of him, and I could go on with my day. And then at sunset, the sky would once again fill with his amazing energy, and I would take comfort in knowing that he had moved beyond the limitations and pain that life had inflicted on his body, and he was truly free, and I am forever blessed. Now, I have a little experiential component with each of the elements, and I get it, it's not for everyone. But if you choose, and you can, for this one, would you please raise one hand out from your shoulder with the palm up and hold it there until I tell you to release it. Our emotions are our body's immediate response to an outside stimuli. That message gets sent to our brain, and within a nanosecond, our brain chooses how we feel. Well, all that gets thrown out the window with grief. Our brains are struggling, trying to come up with this whole new reality that doesn't include our loved one. Combine that in Western culture where we just don't want to see it. We just want you to get over it and be done with it. Well, embracing my grief companion has given me permission to experience all my emotions without a time limit, without justifications, limitations, or expectations. After all, it's like the old adage, if we don't deal with the dis-ease in our lives, it will turn into disease in our bodies. And prolonged grief is actually now considered a medical condition that negatively impacts our cardiovascular and immune systems. So just as now you can relax the tension from your arm and feel that release, so can you find safe ways to release all of your emotions to help you move forward and heal. Along with that emotional tension comes that feeling of who am I now that we're not we. Our sense of belonging and identity create meaning in our lives, the M of more. It's so easy to feel a sense of isolation, even when you're surrounded with well-wishers, food, and flowers. There's this aimless wandering and everything familiar. So again, if you choose, and you will, draw the fingertips of one hand down the fingers and around the palm of the other. And just notice all those sensations of touch, temperature, texture. Now allow your mind to go to a place where you feel a sense of belonging. Who and what is surrounding you? How does that place and those people and things support you and your grief companion? How will it support you in who you're going to be? Come back to the touch. Note any insights. And as you relax your hands, just know that whether or not insights came, your grief companion will always play a part in your meaning making. Just as your grief companion will always play a part in how you show up in relationships, the R of more. Our relationships that support us in who we are now and who we're yet to become. You know, relationships are so important to how we move forward. So let's try this for a minute. Just move your two hands together really quickly. There we go. Now just hold them about a finger width apart. Do you feel any sensations? Note any energy, any temperature. Now move your hands just slowly apart and together. Feel that little pull? Feel that little energy? Bring your hands together. We are all create energy. We all have an energy force. And the people around us either add to or draw from that energy. I mean, you all know this. You've all been to those events where you've painfully listened to the ticking of every second, wondering, when can I leave? Oh my goodness. And then at other times, been with the groups of people where the hours flew by and you had no idea where the time went. Relationships, when genuine, create energy. So pay attention to your relationships. Treat them with honesty, respect, and compassion. Now, if you've been tracking more, we've experienced emotions, we've explored meaning, we've tapped into relationships, which brings us to the O of owning. Owning our new path forward. It's so easy for grief to paralyze us with fear and guilt and should-haves and could-haves. But when we embrace grief as a companion, there is no limitations, only endless possibilities of the best of who we are to create the best of who we can be. So now is the perfect time to explore all of your emotions, create meaning and purpose in your life, foster and nurture positive relationships, and own your more. A dear friend of mine has given me an amazing way for me to step forward and truly own my more. And I would love to end this talk with you and invite you to join me either in standing or sitting, but moving to the rhythm of more.
Hell yeah, feel the beat. Step into stress and strain to ease and flow. With more inside, you start to grow. Hell yeah, feel the beat. Step into power, move your feet. From stress and strain to ease and flow. With more inside, you start to grow. No more barriers hold you down. She turns your fears all around. Meaning owning love so strong. Rise up.
Okay.